Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NXT The Game Season 2, Episode 108. This is NXT Rage, the go-home show for NXT TakeOver Rage. Of course, sticking with the Rage and Resistance TakeOver special, leading to NXT TakeOver Legacy, which is our pay-per-view event. Simply, if only, because we want to keep things brand split oriented. We are in front of 7,165 screaming NXT Universe fans in the Sunshine State of Florida at Orange County Convention Center. Tom Phillips, Nigel McGuinness, and Byron Saxon welcome us, guys, to NXT. Tom Phillips says tonight that on NXT, it's going to be a great show. We're going to get straight into action as Nick Magnus, the #1 contender, and the man who will face Bobby Roode at NXT TakeOver Rage, is making his debut tonight. Not now, but tonight. 75 B-. And in the opening match, and an extremely short match, Nick Magnus defeats Solomon Crowe in 5:21 by pinfall with a tormentum. 57 C-. Nick Magnus with a 67, Solomon Crowe with a 57. The announcing quality lifted the match, which was good. And Nick Magnus put on a solid, if unspectacular match, 57 C-. Now, as the bell sounds declaring Nick Magnus the victorious one, Bobby Roode is seen sliding into the ring and is going to grab Magnus, but Magnus somehow is able to avert the grasp of the NXT champion Bobby Roode. Roode, still furious from what's happened the last few weeks, gets his hands on Magnus finally this Saturday night at NXT TakeOver Rage. Magnus is seen walking up with the ramp screaming, "Not yet, not quite yet," as Bobby Roode is mouthing that Roode's ass is his. So Bobby Roode's letting Magnus know that his ass is his, and heading into NXT TakeOver Rage this Saturday night, the two will finally get it on. Magnus performed poorly, and Magnus, you're not performing that well. I'm a little bit bummed. 84 B+ for Nick Magnus and Bobby Roode, who obviously is carrying the segment, and the program for that matter. Next up, and about that had good wrestling, but didn't have much heat, Dakota Kai defeats Aaliyah, Liv Morgan, and Santana Garrett, and a first-time challenger to the Champion Challenge, when Dakota Kai defeats Santana Garrett by pinfall with a top rope splash. 63 for Garrett, 80 for Morgan, 76 for Aaliyah, and 62 for Dakota Kai. 73 B-. Now, after scoring the pinfall tonight, Dakota Kai has just made it official. She has never challenged for the Women's Championship, and as such, William Regal says that Rage, like Resistance, is going to be the land of opportunity. So this Saturday night, she'll step into the ring and across from the NXT Women's Intercontinental Champion Ruby Riott of the El Ring Alliance, as Dakota has just earned the right to challenge her for the Intercontinental Championship of the Women's Variety at Rage. Dakota Kai is not screwed to her gimmick. Ruby came out great. Rachel came out great. So obviously, with only having 3 weeks, 3 Rages to book towards the pay-per-view, I was going to have a lot of trouble getting everyone's storylines in. So we had to throw a last-minute challenge type of booking situation. Not my favorite thing. You guys know I book these heavily. So Ruby Riott will have a proper contender next time around. Not even spoiling it. There's no way Dakota Kai is taking the title from Ruby Riott. Most likely, unless something comes through, which I'm hoping it'll come through. But before Saturday, I'm not sure. So more than likely, Ruby Riott will leave TakeOver Rage to the champion. Not entirely sure, but probable. Either way, Dakota Kai has been named the challenger, and she will take her on at NXT TakeOver Rage. And speaking of Rage, a video card hair is hyping that as well. It'll be another match which was just made official tonight, as Will Ospreay, the aerial assassin, the newest member of NXT's Rage UK brand, will take on TJ Perkins. Ospreay performed poorly, and TJP performed good. Now, a lot of these score ratings are really making me question the people who I plan on putting over, if I'm still going to put them over. Obviously, the guys who've been in here are more tried and true. I'm more comfortable with them and how to book them. But, geez, man, all my new guys are getting pretty shit ratings out the gate here. 81B. All right, next up, in a poor match, the Bradam Connection defeats Sabatelli and Moss in 10:32 when Oni Lorcan pins Tenno Sabatelli by pinfall with a Par Revere special. Oni Lorcan was head and shoulders above everyone else. 59 for Lorcan, 41 for Birch. Sabatelli is, slowly getting it, 46, and Riddick Moss is getting a 36. So not bad. I mean, it could be worse, but this is a mid-card tag team title program. Actually, probably a lower card program. And this is unfortunate because had we still had not split the brands. Only Lorcan I probably could have seen pushing towards the junior heavyweight championship contention, which was kind of seen not lower, but not necessarily at the height of the heavyweight, because he would classify him in a juniors division. Now that the titles have been split and there's only one in each brand, which if the brands get big enough, we'll be adding another title to each brand in terms of singles, because I just want to have mid-cards. But aside from that, Only Lorcan probably gets pushed back down the ladder a little bit. He's been performing great. The Brit-Am connection with Danny Burch will be a nice spot for him in the interim, like on NXT TV. 54 C-. Let me know what you guys think, too, of Only Lorcan, if you think he's worthy of a push. Let me know what you guys think. All right, next up, the camera finds William Regal, who's in the back, mid-conversation with Velvet Sky and Blake and Murphy. Velvet Sky tells Regal, who just told her Blake and Murphy will be on TakeOver Rage, that it's about time her boys were given a chance to be featured on an NXT TakeOver special. William Regal said that she's glad she feels that way because the Inks non-competes are through and they'll be facing their debut Hanson and Rowe War Machine. The fans cheer now as Raymond Rowe and Hanson walk into the picture and shake Regal's hands and look across towards Blake and Murphy. Blake tells Murphy he didn't see what the big deal about these two are, looking War Machine up and down. Murphy nods, but Velvet Sky isn't so sure. Come on, boys, said Velvet Sky to Blake and Murphy as she turns it around and walks away, leaving Blake and Murphy one last look at War Machine. William Regal was great here. Velvet Sky was great here. Blake and Murphy are nice gatekeepers, towards the tag team division, and they put on solid ratings. Not great, not solid. They're always, not great, but always solid. So yeah, they're good in that regard. A 66 C+ here. Velvet Sky, though, I feel like I've underutilized her. I feel like she can get a lot more usage elsewhere. I'm not ready to pull Blake and Murphy out yet, but we'll see. 66 C+. Blake and Murphy was kind of teetering on the edge of release, but with the brand split, I need all the tag teams I can get again. 66 C+. Next up, in an extremely short match, Cassius Ohno dominates Joseph Page with an rolling elbow. Death by elbow, 42 for Page, 55 for Ohno. The quality lift of the match, 47D. After defeating Joseph Page, the camera zooms in on Cassius Ohno's glare as he lets out a primal scream, the bitter veteran heel now, focused in, showing rage. The camera then shifts backstage to Sami Zayn, who's all bandaged up from Ohno's assault last week, and William Regal, with William telling Sami Zayn he's got it. At NXT TakeOver Rage this Saturday, it'll be Cassius Ohno versus Sami Zayn in a no disqualification match. We're going to make it a no disqualification match. I'm changing this on the fly. Sami Zayn was fantastic. Obviously, Cassius Ohno with a surprise victory over Sami Zayn last edition of NXT Rage. Referee had to stop the match, so Zayn doesn't want the match stopped. Ohno's fine with a no DQ step, and we're going to do it. No disqualification the first time here in NXT. 84B+. So I'm looking forward to that match. Next up, a video cards hyping NXT TakeOver Rage, where it'll be the Authors of Pain, Rachel Elling's Ellring Dynasty mates, Akam and Razor, the 28-time defending NXT Tag Team Champions, defending their NXT Heavyweight Tag Team Championships against Nick Miller and Shane Thorne of TM61. So the next chapter has advanced, 79B. I'm excited to see what TM61 against the Authors of Pain can be. Authors of Pain took on TM61 early in our save for the Tag Team Championships before either team was really over. AOP is very over now. The Mighty Will Neil, TM61, they're both very... they're not super over, but they're definitely above 25. They're about 45, so it'll be definitely an interesting matchup as they take on the Authors of Pain, who, will they be able to hold it through Legacy 2? We'll have to find out. 79B. All right, next up, in a superb match, Razor defeats Nick Miller in 8:36 by submission in singles action. Shane Storm still not clear to wrestle. He should be cleared by Saturday. If not, I've already announced it, so hopefully. But Razor and Akam defeat Nick Miller in back-to-back weeks. This match caused to drift a little bit. No one had psychology, which is unfortunate. 64 and 85 for Nick Miller and Razor. No skill improvements, but the storyline has advanced as well. Unfortunately, this time around, it is lost heat. 73B-. Next up, a video card airs hyping NXT TakeOver Rage, where it'll be recently turned jealous, which the boss, Sasha Banks, actually takes on the woman who's earned that of her jealousy and Bayley's friendship, Carmella. In a judge match, obviously, Carmella did not, Sasha Banks did not turn on Bayley, but rather Carmella, and threw her into the ring steps. Bayley was hurt after having tapped and almost had her arm broken, but it was fractured by Asuka. And now it'll be Sasha Banks taking on Carmella. They have a grudge feud here. Carmella's telling Bayley Sasha's not right. She's not a good friend. Bayley's still wanting to hold on to that friendship a little bit, but Carmella will stand up for her friend Bayley and take on Sasha Banks. 67C+. Next up, a video card airs hyping NXT TakeOver Rage, where it'll be Bobby Roode defending his NXT Heavyweight Championship against the man who duped him into the match in the first place, a man he knows extremely well from the year gone past, Nick Magnus. Magnus is getting better at his gimmick. That's great. We've lost heat again with this segment. 74B- as Rude and Magnus are still set to square off at NXT TakeOver Raid for the championship. And in the main event of the evening, and about that had fantastic wrestling and great heat, Chad Gable defeats Tommaso Ciampa in 12:22 with a fast roll-up. Ciampa, again, are we turning him heel? Are we not? I don't know. You're going to see a lot of these notes popping up between faces and heel turns because, again, it's been almost 2 years. I need to start hinting at some turns, but I'm hinting at a lot of turns because I'm not going to turn everyone, and I don't want you guys to know when I'm turning people. 69C+ here. Chad Gable with a surprising roll-up victory. As the bell sounds, Chad Gable is thrown out of the ring as he scores the flash pinfall finish right as Ciampa kicks out, declaring himself the winner, but just barely. The referee slides out of the ring and raises the hand of Chad Gable, who scores possibly his biggest victory of his career so far over Tommaso Ciampa, who sits in the ring, a half smile, frustrated with himself. NXT fades out on Ciampa, with NXT TakeOver Rage set for this Sunday with a stacked card. Let's go and see what our rating was here tonight, and we'll get into more conversation. 74B-, I'll take it, another solid, if unspectacular NXT show. We're putting out shows between 72 and 78 consistently now. NXT TakeOver Rage should be fun. Chad Gable going over Ciampa here was to build up Chad Gable a little bit. He's only about a 50. I had to protect Ciampa. I had to ensure him that he would had to protect him. I had to make him look strong. So I don't know how much Chad Gable's overness is going to be, but given that it was a flash pinfall, he shouldn't be hurt too bad. Razor and Nick Miller, obviously, I wanted to continue to test out AOP and TM61 chemistry. Cassius Ohno with a victory over Joseph Page heading into his match against Sami Zayn should be a great one. And then Nick Magnus, with a victory over Solomon Crowe in his debut, will be taking on Bobby Roode. And we have a very, very good card for NXT TakeOver Rage, our first TakeOver special since the brand split. And it was a very tough card to get to, I'm not going to lie. Took a lot of planning. I pretty much had everything else planned out for a while, and then I was talking to my son, and I was posted online. You guys said, yes, I want to see the split. I posted on Reddit. I posted on Facebook's TEW Bookers. That's like 4,000 users now, which is a really good place to be. And everyone's like, yeah, split it up. So we split it up because we have so many people, and our brands are just so defined now. Our brand was so defined. It was a 2-hour show. Now we're split into 90-minute shows. Rage and Resistance ones every other week. But the next show you're going to see for the first time, it'll be back-to-back. It'll be Rage, NXT TakeOver Rage. Obviously, like I said earlier, Rage for the TakeOver special name. Resistance will be Resistance. And then Legacy 2, which is our WrestleMania. But thank you for watching Season 2, Episode 108 of NXT The Game's episode of Rage. Everyone, you know the deal. Have a glorious day. And the next time you see me will be a video card followed by the NXT Rage TakeOver special. Thanks for watching. And if you want mine, leave me in comments which match you're looking forward to the most. Thanks, everyone.